A boy dropped his toy at the guard's feet. The crowd fell silent, but his act soon earned applause and moved everyone to tears. London, a sunny morning. The pristine white walls of Buckingham Palace gleam in the morning light. Sunbeams reflect off the golden gates, adding grandeur to the already majestic scene. The plaza in front of the palace is bustling with tourists, their cameras clicking as they capture the moment. The grey cobblestone tiles are immaculate, and the white line on the ground clearly marks the boundary between the guarded area and the crowd. At the center of attention stands the guard, a tall man, around 30 years old, with short chestnut hair and fair skin. He is impeccably dressed in a bright red uniform with golden buttons, and a tall bearskin hat accentuates his stately presence. His face is calm, his gaze steady, and his posture flawless. To many, he embodies tradition, discipline, and British grandeur. A short distance from the lively crowd, a young boy sits in a wheelchair, surrounded by the warmth of his family. He's about 8 years old, with fair skin and slightly tousled blonde hair. His light blue superhero-themed t-shirt is a little oversized, adding to his charm. In his hands, he clutches a bright red toy car, gripping it tightly as though it were a treasure. His mother, a slender woman in her mid-30s with dark wavy hair tied back in a low ponytail, is dressed in a light pastel summer dress. She leans down to her son, gently adjusting the straps on his wheelchair. "Jake, hold on to your toy tightly, or you might drop it." But Jake, mesmerized by the scene before him, barely hears her. His wide eyes are fixed on the guard, his admiration evident. To him, the guard isn't just a soldier. He's a superhero brought to life. In a hushed, almost reverent voice, he says, "Mom, he's like a superhero. Look how strong he is." His mother smiles warmly and lovingly pats his shoulder. "Yes, he really is impressive." Jake, without breaking his gaze, slowly lifts his toy car, as though hoping his superhero will notice it. A soft breeze tousles his hair, but he remains still, captivated. The crowd around the white line continues to grow, with tourists snapping pictures and chatting excitedly. For Jake, though, the world seems to fade away. In this moment, he feels closer than ever to the strength and courage he has long sought. A living example of resilience. His mother leans in and whispers gently, "Do you want to take a picture with him?" Jake nods, but then hesitates, his expression turning to one of concern. "Will he be mad?" His mother chuckles softly. "I'm sure he's used to it. Don't worry." This small exchange, Jake's wide-eyed gaze and whispered words, becomes the start of something unforgettable for everyone on the plaza. The sunlight continues to bathe the plaza in front of Buckingham Palace, where the crowd of tourists grows livelier. But at the heart of the scene are two figures, the guard and little Jake. The guard, a tall man in a bright red uniform, stands motionless, his posture impeccable. His face is calm, his gaze fixed into the distance. He is a symbol of tradition and discipline. Just a few steps away, Jake sits in his wheelchair. The 8-year-old boy, with fair skin and fine blonde hair, wears an oversized light blue superhero t-shirt, adding a touch of innocence to his presence. Jake stares at the guard in awe, clutching his bright red toy car tightly. His brown eyes shine with wonder as he exclaims, "Mom, he's just like a superhero, like on my shirt. Look how strong he is." His mother, kneeling beside him, smiles as she reassures him. "You're right, he's a real hero. Hold your car tightly so he can see it too." In his excitement, Jake lifts his toy car into the air, hoping to show it to the guard. But in his eagerness, he loses his grip. The car slips from his fingers, falling with a soft clatter onto the cobblestone. It bounces once, then rolls across the white line, stopping at the guard's feet. Jake's face fills with panic. His eyes widen, and he turns to his mother. "Mom, what do I do? That's my favorite car." His mother, equally concerned but trying to remain calm, responds gently, "It's okay, Jake. Don't worry. We'll figure something out." The guard, as still as a statue, notices the bright red toy lying near his polished black boots. Though his expression doesn't change, he's aware of the small boy in front of him and the significance of the situation. Jake's hopeful gaze doesn't waver. To him, The guard is his hero, someone who can solve any problem. In a trembling voice, he asks his mother, "Do you think he'll give it back?" His mother strokes his shoulder softly and answers with a reassuring smile. "He sees everything, Jake. Just give him a moment." A hush falls over the plaza. Even the tourists, who had been chattering and taking photos, go silent, their attention drawn to the unfolding moment. All eyes focus on Jake, the guard, and the tiny red car resting on the gray cobblestones. For Jake, this is more than a dropped toy. It's a test of the faith he has placed in his hero. For the guard, it's a delicate moment, balancing the expectations of duty with the compassion of humanity. The crowd waits, holding its collective breath. In that instant, the plaza seems to hold only three figures: the boy, his mother, and the guard. What happens next will leave a lasting impression on everyone present. Silence falls over the plaza. Even the faint murmurs of the crowd fade as all eyes fixate on the guard, the boy, and the small red toy car lying at the guard's feet. The guard stands as still as a statue, but his focus shifts to the toy that has crossed the white line. For young Jake, the moment feels endless. His wide, hopeful eyes are locked on the tall man in the red uniform. Clutching the armrests of his wheelchair, Jake barely breathes as he asks, his voice trembling, "Mom, did he see it? Will he give it back?" His mother, her voice soft but steady, whispers with a gentle smile, "I think so. Keep watching, Jake." And then, it happens. The guard breaks his motionless stance, taking a single deliberate step forward. His movements are smooth, confident, and precise. The crowd collectively gasps, and several people begin filming on their phones. Jake stares in awe, watching his hero come to life before his very eyes. The guard bends down and picks up the toy. The bright red car gleams in the sunlight, standing out against the dark cobblestones. His expression remains serious, but a faint hint of a smile flickers at the corners of his mouth, a detail so subtle it's noticed only by the most observant onlookers. The crowd starts whispering, "Did he just break protocol? I thought that was forbidden." "But it's so touching. Look how carefully he's doing it." Holding the toy in his gloved hand, the guard steps up to the white line and pauses. His voice, calm yet firm, carries across the plaza. "Your property, sir." The formal tone silences the crowd once again. Jake, overwhelmed and shy, struggles to find his words before finally stammering, "Thank you, sir." His voice wavers with emotion, but his face radiates pure joy. He carefully takes the toy from the guard, holding it close as if it were the most precious thing in the world. Jake's mother, unable to contain her gratitude, says softly, "Thank you so much. This means more to him than you can imagine." The guard, maintaining his serious demeanor, offers a slight nod before returning to his post. With measured precision, he resumes his stance, embodying discipline and tradition once more. But the moment isn't over yet. A voice from the crowd, one of the younger tourists, rings out, breaking the solemn atmosphere. "Wow, so you're not just a statue. How about a smile for us?" The remark momentarily disrupts the magic, but something unexpected happens. The crowd, previously indifferent, now turns on the heckler. A well-dressed elderly man steps forward, his voice firm. "That was disrespectful. He just did a kind thing." Others nod in agreement, whispering, "What nerve? How could someone say that after what just happened?" The atmosphere shifts once more. People begin clapping, tentatively at first, then louder. Applause fills the plaza, expressing not only respect for the guard's gesture, but also for his ability to maintain dignity in the face of scrutiny. Jake, still holding his toy, looks at the guard with reverence. For him, this day has become magical. His hero has shown not just strength, but also a kind heart. The guard remains at his post, indifferent to the noise around him. His face returns to its stoic expression, but deep inside, he knows he has done something meaningful. The plaza in front of Buckingham Palace seems to freeze in time. The white stone walls and gleaming golden gates bear silent witness to a moment that will stay with everyone present. The crowd, once preoccupied with selfies and chatter, is now fully focused on the guard, the boy, and the small red toy car. Having returned to his post, the guard adjusts his bearskin hat with a subtle, almost imperceptible motion. His face is composed, his gaze fixed straight ahead. Once again, he embodies the unyielding discipline of his duty. But something has changed. The crowd begins to stir. Those who had been filming or watching casually now start clapping, tentatively at first but with growing enthusiasm. The sound builds, echoing across the plaza. Someone shouts, "Now that's a real hero!" The words seem to electrify the crowd. Cheers and applause ripple through the plaza. Even those who had been mere bystanders join in, their voices filled with admiration. Jake, still clutching his toy, looks up at the guard with awe. His face glows with happiness, and tears of joy glisten in his eyes. Holding the car tightly, he speaks in a soft but heartfelt voice. "Thank you, sir. You're my superhero." His mother leans down and whispers, "Jake, today you met a real hero." Raising her eyes to the guard, she adds sincerely, "Thank you for everything." The guard, his gaze unbroken, says nothing. But the faintest nod, a gesture almost too subtle to notice, speaks volumes. Among the crowd, a tourist holding a phone turns to his companion, a smile spreading across his face. "This video is going to go viral in no time. People need to see this." And he's right. Within hours, clips of the moment flood social media. Comments from across the world pour in. This restores my faith in humanity. A reminder that behind the rules and uniforms, there are real people with kind hearts. A little boy met his hero today, and we all got to witness it. As the crowd begins to disperse, the energy on the plaza feels different. What was once a place of casual sightseeing now carries a quiet reverence. Conversations are softer, smiles more genuine, as people reflect on what they've just seen. Jake turns for one last look at his hero. The guard stands motionless, regal and imposing, a living symbol of tradition and resilience. For Jake, he will always be more than just a guard. He is the embodiment of hope and kindness. The story concludes in silence. The guard remains at his post, performing his duty. The plaza, though gradually emptying, is still filled with a sense of awe. On this day, strict tradition and quiet humanity came together, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who was there.